You guys there? Okay. What's up, bud? How are you? Hello, all 6 members. Welcome. You guys can hear clearly? Alright. What's up, bud? How are you? Hope everybody's good. This day trader guy. Alright. So yeah, we're not really doing a webinar. We're just gonna do a little hangout session just to help everybody figure out what they did wrong or what they did right. I mean, I want to hear about the good ones too, not just the bad ones. So, this is just for you guys. I know we got some information about ANTM and CI, AET, HUM for Monday. So that's gonna be interesting. What's up, bud? So I don't know what you guys want to start with. This is all for you guys. So let me hear it. Let her rip. Fogo. I like this stock, by the way. Think it's already telling us where it wants to go. So I'm hoping I'm hoping I can get 30 out of this one. I picked it up at 25.50. I think on this pull here, or no, yeah, this pull. Picked it up here on this pull. Cause I was using this trend over here. Once all of this happened with the IPO opening, I usually just do nail, like I just nail something here and just play. I actually played this early. I got it at 25, I think, or 24.50. I can't remember. I think it was 24.50, and then I sold at 25.50. I made 1 point on this pop right here. But then once all of it kind of settled out, I drew a trend and I was kind of just playing with it a little bit. It was kind of hard to kind of hard to trend on IPO, but I was just messing with it during the day, try to figure out a bottom. But I did like the 25.50 area. I was looking for 25. I kind of like. I have a little theory. I mean, it's a real bullshit theory, honestly. But these stocks that opens in the like 25 areas, I mean, or like 30 areas, I kind of like the even numbers to go in. So I was looking at 25, and I'm thinking the stock could push to 30. I mean, had a lot of volume, so there's a lot of interest in it. But anyways, let me hear some of the questions. I'm here. There's nothing on the daily, obviously. We can go over some of this stuff for for Monday for you guys. This is CI. Let's see the daily chart. Okay, so you can see that this thing's been just on a nice uptrend. Real clean, real nice channel going all the way up. Let's look at a bigger picture, 5 years out. On Fit, yeah, I think so. Let me just try to look for a trend here on CI. I want to see what I can pick up from this for Monday for you guys. Okay, big dip, and then this chart told me here what it wanted to do. Okay, let's trend this chart. Alright, gonna go here and here. this was all the way in 2009. Yeah, I like this. After it dropped, chart came back, told me what it wanted to do. Let's see where it ended up. Let's see where this chart ends up being. All the way back there. Oh. Wow. Okay. Well, obviously, from back here, it was telling you, hey, I want to go up here. So it ended up kind of really on point. Alright. So that's CI. Where is it going? Let's see where it wants to go. No. What's the buyout for? Like 180 something? 184 or something like that? Hello. How are you? 184. It's gonna have to come back and retest, but this thing's just it's gonna pop obviously from that buyout. But it's eventually gonna come back and retest this trend here. Technical analysis works for any stock. As long as you have a good chart, as long as you have a clean chart. I don't like choppy charts. There are a lot of stocks that have like these days that goes up and these days that goes down and up and down and up, and their ranges are crazy. Like you'd get stopped out every day if you were trying to play it. But something like this, I mean, you can see just basically looking at it, you can see obviously this thing's had a nice trend. I mean, had it obviously it's ups and downs, but it's been holding a really cool trend for a long while. So a stock like this would be like an investment type stock, where you buy it at a decent price, and you just let it sit. Like if this chart was to ever come back down here to test this line in this wide channel here, if this stock was to ever come back down to test here, then you'd buy it and just hold it. Because obviously you see that this stock is a really strong one. Obviously that's why they're getting bought out, because same thing that I'm seeing is the same thing that people are seeing, that they have a good strong company, and I'm sure that they have something that that company wants. That's CI. Let's look at I think there was some stuff on Hum also. Um, let's do another 5-year chart. I'm just going over these four just for you guys on Monday. Let's go over Hum. Same thing. Nice chart. I mean, this is the pop here. It's not obviously a pop, but this is the move up, consolidation, flag, breakout. So like if you were investing and you're looking at this really long-term chart, you'd pick that as your peak, and the minute it broke out of it and came back and retested it in this area, you would have gone long for investment reasons. So that's how you'd play a company like this. Obviously you'd have to do a little research into the company itself, make sure that they're worth it, but just based on technical analysis alone, you would go long here in this area. Okay, so this is Hum 5 years. Let's see if we can trend this. Okay, I like this range here. This chart is telling me here that this is what I want to do. Alright, let's see how much precision I can get on this chart here. I'm gonna find a nice point that I like. Okay, I like this one here. And let's follow this trend up. Right about there. Okay. That's my trend line. Let's see how close I get. I don't know. I'm thinking. Yeah, let's work that. Let's work that trend. Okay. See? So that chart's telling me that that's where I wanted to go all along. Okay. You guys see that, right? That's crazy. Let's look at ANTM. 5 years. Let's get a real big picture in it. See it up, consolidate, breakout. If you were doing investments, you'd come in right here. You'd wait for the breakout, the retest. It came a breakout again. It retested it again. This would have given you two perfect chances to buy if you were looking for this as an investment. And then you'd get in over here at 84, 85, whatever. Somewhere around there. And then your risk wouldn't even be much. I mean, literally, if you bought this here, say you nailed that day, just for some freaking reason you nailed that. You didn't even have to have wide stops on this one. I mean, it never broke down past this support ever again. Ever. You could have had a 25-cent stop and never been stopped out on this stock. But anyways, let's see ANTM what see if I can trend this. Okay. Breakout. Give me where it wants to go. Alright, so let me see if I can trend this one. Okay. Down here. Okay. I like this down here and that up there somewhere. Alright, so this is what I'm thinking it's gonna do. Oh, I'm off. So that means that this chart still wants to go up more. Because this is where it wants to go. I haven't gotten there yet. So it's gonna go up to here. It's at 165, it's gonna go up to here. X that out. Let's see. One more. AET, is it? Did we do that one? AET. I'm just doing over the 4. That's gonna be in play for sure on Monday. Did we do this one? We did, right? CIAET, hum. I think we did all of them, no? I don't know. Alright. You know what? Let me just see. Okay. Up, down, up, down. I just gotta see these things and then I can get my eyes where I see the trend happening. Okay. I like this area here. So then a bounce off of this area here is going to tell me where this chart wants to go. Alright. Okay. This chart is telling me this is where I want to go. Okay. Right here. So, you see how I'm seeing it, right? Visually. The chart came down under here. This was resistance, 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 right? Came up, it gapped on top of it. Support, support, support. So now after this support, this is what I'm looking at for this chart to tell me now, hey, this is where I want to go. Alright, let's see. Okay, see how close that is? I mean, that's pretty close. Look, I missed this over here. That should be even closer. I missed this. Let's see. Let's draw that better. Okay, there. I keep missing it. It's hard to get this right on it. Damn it. Okay. There. And there. Okay. So we're right on it now, right? So you see it. Resistance, resistance, resistance. Support, support, retest. Now the chart is actually going to tell me where it wants to go. Let's see. Look at that. See that? That's some crazy shit right there. Alright. So anyways, that's that. These are the ones that you guys are going to be looking at on Monday if you're into that kind of bracket. They're all going to go up. So just look for that flag. Find that breakout. I mean, obviously, same thing I keep telling you guys, right? If you're seeing this kind of stuff going on here, you're looking at this area here. If I could share some of my trade ideas, configuration, haha, my configuration. We'll have to talk about that. I'm not gonna go too much in depth with my configuration because obviously I've put like hours and hours and hours of work into it. So it's kind of my my edge, my secret. I mean, if there's a one secret that this magician's gonna probably keep secret, it's probably gonna be the actual configuration of my scanners. Um, yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. But okay, so if you're looking at this chart here on a daily basis, just say you were only two, these two bumps in, right? You saw that it hit here, it went up, wherever it goes up, whatever. You missed this, it came back down here. You saw that now it's holding this line here. So you would take this trade right around here, just figuring that okay, just figuring that you want to get into this trade for whatever reason. All right, I'm just picking a chart. This is where it came down, came back and retested. Now this is where you would take the trade, and you would be risking over here the break of this. So this, even if you took this trade anywhere around here, 124, even if you figured you wanted to get in early and risk it. If you took it at 124, you're risking that right there, 123.88, and that's your low of day right here. So you're just risking maybe 123. I don't know. I mean, it's a point mover stock, so you kind of gotta have a wider stock. So if I took it at 124, I'd be risking 123 maybe if I wanted to risk that much. But honestly, you just have to risk anything lower than 123.88, and that's your risk. That's your full risk on a play like this. If you were just looking at it during the day. I mean, during the day, there's a lot of stuff that goes on, right? So, how do you know what to pick? How do you know what to play? It gets really, really confusing during the day. Um, you gotta focus. I think a lot of the problem is where, no, I'm not a Jedi. I'm just in tune with it now. You know what you gotta do? My recommendation to finding plays during the day. Say you have about four stocks that you're looking at. This is your screen, right? Um, Maybe if you want to set up your say you have one screen. You want to set it up where if okay, yeah. Say you have one screen, so you put it over here. You put one screen like that size, like this. Shit, I can't do that. Well, 'cause my stuff's all okay. I'll bring over a side chart. Okay. So say this is your main screen, right, that you're trading on, right? I'll bring over another couple side charts. And then you want to keep an eye on, I don't know, four more stocks. Then you set it up kind of like this. I'll bring over another side chart. Just gonna mess up my whole platform here right now. And then you set it up where you can have a few things that you're looking at the same time. You know, I mean, you guys get the idea, right? You set it up where you have a few things looking at. You don't look at stuff that you don't need to look at. So you look at a few things and you keep your eyes on a few things only. You can't focus on everything. I mean, look, I get a lot of stuff off my scanners and stuff, and I have to alert them because they're movers, and my job is to alert them. You know, people gotta get one, pick one, and play that one. I mean, there was a couple of them that went pretty crazy on Friday. I can't even remember all of them, but there were like five or six that just went crazy. This one was one of them. Um, if I didn't even play this one, but I can't say hindsight that okay, this is what I would do or this is what I won't do because that'd be lying. I would not. I didn't see the action. I can't tell because of the L2. On power moves like this, say it popped here, right here. A lot of people ask me, how do you know when to go long on a para or when to short the para? On a pop like this, and it's stood here, I'd be like right around here. If I caught it, um, I'd be looking at my L2, and if my bids are a lot more than my ask, I'm saying this chart's got a lot more to go, and then I'll jump in long. If I see for a reason that a stock pops and then drops, if it pops and drops one time, I don't like that. I don't like it at all. And if it does that, I'm waiting for, just say this stock had done a big pop and a drop, where would it come back to? It would come back to right here, because that would be your area. That was resistance, right? Boom, came back, tested it, boom, came back, didn't get close, but it failed basically 3 times. So in my case, if I was doing this chart and I saw this breakthrough here, the minute it came back here, I would go long. If I caught this, I did not catch this one. I alerted it in the room, but I didn't play it because just too many going on at the same time. But this is how I would have played real quick. If I saw this pop, it breaks through the resistance, comes back, I put an order in right here at the resistance, at this now support. I'd put an order in right here, and then I'd get filled right there, and then it'd make another pop. So I would have gotten filled. I mean, I'm a real penny pincher, you guys know this. So I would put that right at 74, 75, somewhere around there, and then I'd get a whole point on that thing. More than a point, actually, with 43. I would have never gone through all this, honestly. If I popped this as a para scalp, I'd probably only get 1 point out of it. I'd probably sell right here. Um, can you share how you decide to enter from your top trades from this week? Okay. All right. Give me an example of what you got into, and then I can work with you. I can't even remember what I trade. I didn't trade a lot this week. Um, I can't remember exactly what I did trade. I trade a lot of stuff. I know I traded Amber. I mean, this chart was just, it was beautiful. Not this chart, but these charts here. I mean, the perfect formations, perfect flags, perfect breakouts. I mean, everything was right there. Breakout. I mean, even the chart within the chart, there were constant plays, constant breakouts. Even if you missed this one, then there's another one here. If you missed that one, there's another one here. If you missed that one, there's another one here. I mean, so say you're looking at one chart. Say you just want to play. Okay. Okay, let's start back. Let's go way back. How do I know what I want to play during that day? There's a million stocks out there, right? Okay. Alright, we'll go over blue. How do I pick what I want to play? How do I know which 4 charts I want to put up on my screen? How do I know which side charts I want to look at? This area right here. This is my this gray area, the shaded area. These shaded areas are my extended hours. So if there's movement in the extended hours, a lot of movement, decent volume, I want to be looking at these stocks. So you see a lot of my plays are based on gap ups or gap downs because the the momentum's already there either on the downside or the upside, but the momentum's already there. The people are already looking at it. So you already have something from pre-market. I can say, okay, if I want to play a stock. Did I play Amber on Friday? Nope, I didn't because there wasn't a lot of stuff catching my attention. I did play it the day before, and you can see that there was a lot of attention here. And I played not the day before, but damn, did I trade on Thursday, guys, or Wednesday? I can't remember. Shit. Okay, either way. When there's action in the pre-market, that's how I decide those are the charts that I want to look at. If there's no action in the pre-market, I really don't care, and sometimes I miss a really nice play like this short. What I would have, I probably would have been trying to nail bottoms and lost some money on this one because I thought, yeah, I don't know, I can't say if I would have played it or not. I just didn't like the pre-market action, so I probably wouldn't have played it. Over here it's still going down. So, on the daily chart for Amber, this chart's got to come back down. This chart's too much. Too much, too fast. It's going to come back down. Is it going to come all the way back down here? Probably if it stretches out a little bit, it'll come all the way back down here to 100. And then it's going to go. You shorted Amber on Friday? Good. I mean, it was really too much. But this is the trend that this chart is holding. So now this chart is saying, "Whoa, I'm too much. I'm too much. I gotta take a breather." It's gonna come back. It's gonna settle. It's gonna form one of these cool flags here. Remember to keep your eye on this one, just for a long-term play. It's gonna form a flag somewhere. Maybe it'll be here. I don't know. But once it forms that flag, you gotta watch for that breakout. And once it breaks out, it's gonna go above that. A price target of 60? Well then, what do they want? Oh, look where that 200 is at, 61. Are they gonna bring it back all the way down here? I doubt. I doubt. The most this chart's gonna come back down to is like 90s. If it comes directly down, it's gonna come back to 90. If it slowly comes down, it'll come back here. I don't think that chart's going to $60. I doubt. Blue. All right. I slowed up on blue, by the way. If you guys notice, I've slowed up on blue. I know when to play hot stocks when they're hot, and after they've cooled off, I just let it chill. It just at 110. Yeah. So I mean, so we're still good. I mean, 110, 100 on a point mover is not really big difference. You lost on blue. Okay, so obviously you see what this trade was saying, right? This chart was saying, hey, this is my trend. What are you doing over here? You gotta get your ass back in check. So this chart's gonna come back over here, and then it's gonna make a move. Right now you got an interesting area here of support. So is this flag here ready to break out? Could be if the market strengthens up. Could get a bounce right off this support. You see the support there, support here. So it could actually get a bounce. But this chart's really saying, hey, I need to come back down here. Get back on my channel. And then we could figure out what it wants to do. So that's what I see for this chart. It's going to come back down. I think it's just going to come back down. And then it's going to, whoa. Then it's going to form the flag here. And then it's going to make its move. So that's what I say for that. Long term. Yeah. Oh yeah? Yeah, it is up a lot. I understand that. But the chart's still saying that it's good to go. So, I like to read the charts. I feel like they tell me a nice story. Okay, let's look at the intraday for blue. Let's do a 5 minutes. Try to get a better picture of what's been happening. Okay, so she's been on a down. That was the big gap day. That was that I think this was the Sunday with their sickle cell stuff. Um okay, you tried to short blue at 180.75. Got stopped out on Monday. Okay, wait. So this was Monday you tell me here, right? This is what you did? So let's go back to just Monday. All right. Okay, so this is Monday. Pre-market during the day. Alright? You tried to short blue at. Yep, that's what I'm gonna go over right now with you. Tried to short blue at 180.75. 180.75. Yeah. Okay, 180.75. Did you short? I'm just asking you generally. Did you short blue in this come down, this pop? Just give me an idea. Was it here or was it here? At 11:24. Okay, 11:24. You shorted at 180.75. Okay, I'm just want to put some lines here. 180.75. Okay, let's just get a general. So, okay, so that's the area for entry here. And you got shorted, you got stopped out, which sucked because it actually would have given you some nice money. Okay. Do I think that was a bad entry? Actually, I don't think it was a bad entry. And not because of what happened after. But if I played this, the chart pulled, and then it popped because of these guys covering, and then you went short for the rest of, for the other for the fade. So you had a 1 point stop. Okay. This this chart, the spreads are almost 1 point sometimes. I know it's saying a lot to have a wider stop than that. What do you trade on? Do you trade on a 1 minute, 5 minute? Can't go back that far. Let me know what you trade on. Do you trade on a 1 or a 5? And give me your reasoning. I mean, I see it, and I would have. Would I have shorted after all of this? Probably not. I would have probably been looking for a reversal rather than a short. See, I would have been looking at this more in a let's catch that down. Once it breaks the downtrend line, let's catch that reversal. If I was trading this like that, and this was blue was my only focus that morning, and I'm looking at it, and I missed all of this, I'd be looking at a long entry here once it broke, and then I would go long. So taking the short entry, use a 1 and a 3 and a 5, you use a 3 for an entry. Okay. I think if you're using the 3, and this is just me, don't get me wrong, this is just me. If you're using the 3 minute for a scalp entry or for a day trade, I think sometimes you get delayed. Let's take a look, for instance, a 1 minute 8 hour chart. I'll smallen this up, it's very confusing right now. On blue. Okay. See how these they're wide. See that? But I use 1 minute. If I was playing this and I was going for a long or short position, I would use this area here as a, well, I mean, you would have to use as the ultimate downtrend. And then the break you'd get in here, and then you'd play here. You'd get out half your position here and then put your stops back here, right at entry. So you got in there, then you'd put your stops back there and you'd get stopped out at this pullback over here. That's a 1. That's the 3 on a 1 day. Let's see if the entry would have served similar. entry would have been the same, because the time is the same. It's confusing. I don't really take entries on anything more than a minute. I don't take intraday trades on anything more than a minute. If I'm doing a swing, I do 5, and I try to find a base there. But if I'm doing entry, like I'm trying to nail a call, I just do 1 minute. And a lot of people play 5 minutes like this. You see red, red, you see a green, you go long. You see red, red, you see a green, you go long. You see red, red, you see green, you go long. It's like, and red, red, you see green, you go long. A lot of people play 5 minute charts like this. Like every other candle is the one that they want to get into. Um, but I use 1 minute. I think for me it just gives me a little more precision on the way that I trade, because I like taking really tight stops, especially when I'm playing a little more size. I like taking really tight stops. So for me, doing the 3 minute on an entry is too much for me, because I can miss a lot of those. I mean, each candle would represent 3 minutes, and that little bump around in that one candle would be too much of a leeway for me personally. And if you're using a if you use the 3, I mean, you probably got stopped out in the others, like in a couple of candles, so you didn't really have a chance to see if the chart was. I feel like there should be a better explanation for what you did. You pulled, you popped, and you went short. I think it was a perfect play. I can't blame you for it. That was perfect. It pulled, it popped from the short covering, you went short again. I don't think you did anything wrong. I really don't. I can't say that, you know what, like, okay, that was a bad trade. I can't say that, because it wasn't. I wasn't playing it right, whatever. You were, and you saw this. It pulled, it popped from the short covering, and you went short. I don't think you did bad. I mean, even if you based it on the close of the day over here, is very close to your entry. So, I really don't think that you went horrible on that one. I think the spreads really squished you. So don't blame yourself for this trade. I don't think you should. The spreads squeezed you on this one. The spreads on a play like $180 stocks. The spreads alone are 75 cents to a dollar. And you got stopped out for 1 point. I don't think you should blame yourself for this trade, because you did nothing wrong. If you did something wrong, I would say, okay, well, you know what? Maybe you should have just done something different. But I can't say you did anything wrong. I think you just got stopped out because the spreads were so wide, and maybe your stops were not wide enough. If you played this with, let's be realistic. If somebody with a smaller account said, okay, I'm taking 50 shares of this thing here at 180.75, and I want to go short, now you can risk, like, I don't know, you can risk like 3 points, right? Because now you only have, especially if you're fishing, right? Consider this fishing here, because you don't really know how far it's gonna pop up. If I'm looking at this chart and I say I want to reshort this, I would actually be looking to reshort somewhere around here, where those MAs are. I would have never gotten filled. So I'd be looking for, even if this was to pop, I'd be looking for it to pop around here. Now when it popped here, it actually came back and hit that, which would have been the close of the day area, which would still be a nice area of resistance. You did nothing wrong on this trade, alright? So don't blame yourself for that. Honestly, just got stopped out because of the wide spreads. I cannot say that you did anything wrong with that. So don't just, be too hard on yourself, because the spreads were just too wide and you just got stopped out on that one. What do you think about Cena on the daily? Cena. Okay. Downtrend, breakout, flag, breakout. Just seems like this chart's gotta come down some. Just way too much. Then maybe it'll come down to about here. This area here. Think it'll come back down here. And then you'll get your flag. Then you'll get your breakout again. It's just way too much. It basically went from, if you were playing this bottom here, if you were playing the break of this trend, this chart went from what, $37 to $60. Yeah, it's too much too fast. Not because the stock's going up means that it's gonna go up forever. This chart's probably, and in my opinion, it's gonna come back down here somewhere. That area. It's gonna do one of this, like that, something like that. Then it's gonna do something like that. That's what I expect seeing it to be done. So when it does this and it does that, it's gonna break here and then it's gonna actually move. Let's give a really wide chart. Let's see, 3 years out. Okay, so we got a lot of room here. A lot of room. So let it do its thing. Try to find a base if you want to play this long. And make sure the flag holds. This area here is going to be your support. Right around 51.50, somewhere around there. I mean, these other areas here are they've already been established over here as a resistance and came back as a support. So these areas here should be done with. Now this is your next area here that you need to be looking at, because between here and here, this was a channel over here. Went straight through that channel. But now this area here is that's gonna end up being your support zone here. There, see it? There. I mean, it's all over the place. So that's your area of support here now. So this is where I would think this chart's gonna come back to here. And if you would just keep this, if this is something that you want to play long term, swing or whatever, this is the area that you want to be focusing on as a entry. And then if you get in here at 52, 53, whatever, then you're looking for that break of 60, and then, well, let's see what you can get out of it. You can end up getting something closer to 69 out of it. If it does this, it's going to come back and retest there. You see that? It'll retest that line right there. And then it's going to pull back. And then it's going to flag again. Then it's going to break out. Alright? So this one. This is nice. Okay. Let's see what else. What else we got? Cool. Okay. Same thing. See, even this really big chart, ESPR. It's way too much. Way too much. Double top right here. It's perfect double top right there. Coming back down. This is gonna be an area of support right there, and that was the area of support. Bounce off that. I still think this is just a reaction. It's probably gonna end up coming back down here. The 58, 59 area. And then it's gonna move. Just needs to get rid of all this garbage over here. This right here is just hype, Momo, just too much. So it's gonna come back. This right here, I think it's a big short covering. I think it ends up pulling back down here to this area. Then it's gonna make a move. No worries, bud. You guys have anything you wanna go over? I did Fogo. Can't do a daily on that. Um, I took this trade in the room with you guys on Friday. So now that we have a little time without the market, I can try to go over why I did this one. We saw this. Honestly, I saw this on my scanner and I was like, whatever, that's like 6,000 volume, so who cares? If I was playing this chart, you see this, you get the flag, we would have actually gotten in here and then we would have freaking would have been crazy over here, but never happened. So whatever. So I caught this. It was probably somewhere around here when I picked it up. Um, and then I just decided to play a little flag. So we did something like that. And then I think I had gotten in at 35 somewhere here. I was basing it off of this level here. When it popped here and gave me this bearish candle up here, but then gave me this reversal candle here, which is kind of like this is like a bullish engulfing. I used that as a base, temporary base for the flag formation. So I think I put in 35 even as my entry, and then we got it here, and then I sold into this pop here. I think I missed this. Can't remember. How would I have played CI Para? On Friday? This? This move here? Let me just get to this CI Para. How would I have played this CI Para? Well, I mean, this wasn't really it was a moving chart, but I don't think it was much of a para as much as it was just a breakout. You got the downtrend here, and then it was a breakout, but like that's not really a para. That's just a nice movement. And then you'd have to be careful of this double top here, which textbook. I mean, it happened where it nailed the double top and just came right back down. Then you have a double bottom over here, and then it did the same thing where it popped up back up in after hours. So this is just a big wide channel right now. Oh, I had a pair on Monday. Oh, didn't we? Yeah, we played that, I think. On Monday. I was here on Monday. Yeah. Here. Okay. Okay. This the like when I do paras, I look at the volume on my L2. I mean my L2 sits literally this is my screen. This is my L2 here. I can't get it closer to my screen. I mean it's right here. When I see this thing pop here and my L2 split in half, this side is ask, this side is bids. So when I see my ask is stacked up where there's a lot of people saying I want more, that's when I go long. If less people are saying that they want more and more people are saying, "Hey, I want to sell," then you go short. But on a play like this, it was just saying, "Hey, I want more." So that's why I even grabbed it here. When this halted, I think it was a halt, and it opened back. I grabbed it all the way here, and I still ran it up for a few points. I think I made like 4 or 5 points on that on this, which everybody was saying, "Why would I go long?" Right? That's what you're asking me, because the L2 was just stacked up. So I knew for sure that I could get a few points out of it. I mean, especially on a mover like this. This thing went from 140, 138, sorry, to like 163. I didn't think it was gonna go up here. I didn't even, I don't think I even kept it for all the way up there. I think I played it and then I kept moving stops up, and I ended up getting a few points out of it. But I played it on the paras. I just went long because of the L2. That's the only how you could play that. That's the only sign. This little thing right here, your L2, is the only thing that can tell you, hey, go long, or sell. I also click over to my daily real quick. I mean, like, it takes me 2 seconds to click over to my daily and to look at the general chart. And when I looked at it, I'll close it up a little bit so you guys can see. When I looked at it, this was the power move here on that 1 day. Um, yeah, if I'm doing a real quick scalp, yeah, it's purely on the L2, purely on the price. If there's 10 people saying I want to buy this, and there's 2 people saying I want to sell this, I'm gonna buy. You understand? It's like a supply and demand type deal. So if there's more people saying that, hey, I want to buy it, then I'm with them. I want to buy it too. Depends on the move and depends on what the L2 is saying. If a lot of these moves, I mean, you guys know I catch a lot of these moves pretty early. So on a lot of these moves, as I told you guys before, all I have to do when I see a power and it comes up on any of my scanner stuff here, because everything's connected, all I have to do is right click and hit buy. That's it. One click, buy. That's it. So as soon as I can see something pop in, I'll go right here. If my scanner folds up with a lot of buys here, my eyes are here and my eyes are here. I'm not even looking at this because I'm looking at how many people are, how many MMs are saying, hey, this is good to go. And then in 1 second, I can look over here and say, hey, well, these people saying that it's gonna go, these people are buying it here. I barely even watch here. I'll come over here, right click, buy, and everything's preset for a certain amount, so it'll just buy if I want to catch it. Just and if I want to play the pullback, if I miss about, I would say, okay, say this. Let me just try to make this a little clearer for you guys. We don't need to see all this junk right now. Okay. Say we knew this halted and it opened back up here. I just this one. I mean, I couldn't say that I played this on a flag because there was no flag. This was a halt. So I played this one purely based off the L2. Purely based off the L2. I just jumped in and jumped out. I knew that it would pop a point. Couple hundred shares. I mean, I wasn't going crazy with it. It was already halted here, even though it was for circuit breaker halt, I think. But it was already halted, so I don't like playing large sizes with stuff that's been halted just 2 seconds ago. But I knew I was playing it. So I just jumped in. I just got it. And I was like, you know what? I'll just jump in. It wasn't a lot of shares that I had either. Yeah, that's how I do it. I right click, buy, and it'll just, because my thing is set to market on regular days, and then if I just have to change it to limit if I wanna. If I'm playing a flag, obviously I'm doing limit. If I'm playing something that I have a specific entry that I want, obviously is limit. But on para stuff, I'll do the market. But once the chart sets up, like there was probably another one in link to this one. Um, But if the chart sets up where it's giving me a flag, if the chart sets up where it's giving me a flag, like say we missed the whole thing here, right? Say you missed this, say you missed this, say you missed this. So you're looking at this section here now, right? So you're like, oh man, I just came in. Freaking CI is at 157. This is what happened. Popped, pull. Okay. let me see. And you're thinking, okay, well, how do I play this now? I still want to make some money. Here's how you play. You put a little thing here, a line, and you bring it back down here. And now you have a flag, right? So you missed all of this action. Whatever, you missed it, it's fine. It played in here. The moment it broke out here, you just decided, hey, I'm gonna try this, and I'm gonna take some. So that's what you would take right there, and then you'd still end up getting a few points out of it. Like literally 5 points out of it. So if you missed this whole thing, if you weren't fast enough, if you didn't know how to read the L2, if you just missed the whole move, if you walked in when it was here, and you're like, oh, well, I missed this whole thing. You keep it up on a chart, and you look at it, and you see, look, it's selling off slowly. It's not really like dumping. If this went up and dumped, then you'd say, whatever, I don't want to play that chart. But if you see it slowly selling off, just means one thing, that it's just flagging. These are just sellers that made a lot of money, obviously, selling some of it, and it's just coming down. And then you sit on it, and you wait, and you watch it, and you watch it, and you draw a line. It doesn't even have to be a perfect line, just watch it. And the minute you see that it kind of goes above where it should not be, that's when you decide you want to go long with it a little bit. Now, if you went long in that area, right? So you went long in that area right there, and you're obviously realizing that now you have a bottom, right? And that's where your stops are going to be. So if you went long there at, say you went long exactly at 153.41. Say that was your entry right there. Your stops for now are anywhere below this trend, because now you have an uptrend here. So this would be an uptrend there, and that would be your stop area right there. Sorry, I know the color's a little messed up. Let's change that. I can't change that one. I'm gonna mess up my whole thing. That'd be a stop area right there. Anywhere in this zone. Anywhere under the trend line. Depends on what your tolerance is. So that'd be an entry, that'd be a stop. On that flag, on that particular play. And then obviously as you move up, you're gonna walk into a pole, a flag again. And then once it found a bottom, you're still not stopped out, because once you sold into this huge candle, remember what I tell you guys, sell into big candles, right? So you bought it here, boom, you popped it, you took your money right here, whatever. Sorry, I don't need that. You bought it here, and look, that thing went up like 2 or 3 points. So I'm sure in between here you sold for a point and a half, and then you move your stops down to your entry. So now what do I call this? A safe trade. Basically, you got, say you bought 50 shares, now you have 25 shares of free CI at 153.41, whatever you bought it at. So you never just jump in and then sell the whole thing. You jump in, you sell, especially on a play like this that has this kind of movement. You already caught the flag breakup. Now you gotta just before you get excited and sell all of it, you sell half of it. For what? I don't care. A point and a half, two, whatever. And then you put your stops at your entry. Or you can put it a couple pennies above your entry if you want, just to make sure you cover even your commissions. So now this whole trade here with your, now that you have 25 shares left, are free for however far it wants to go. And then you say you're looking at this now, right? This is your only trade for the day now, right? So now you're sitting at it, you got money in your pocket, it's not stopping you out because it's all the way up here. You're thinking, okay, how much does this chart have to go? I'm looking at that height there, and obviously I'm looking at that height there. So now you're thinking, okay, well, my stops are here, this is here, but this is also a trend line now that it's also been forming, right? I'll X this out because it looks kind of crazy. But this is what happens during the day, right? If you're really just trying to, make as much money as you could out of a trade, it does get a little, with your lines and whatever, gets a little confusing. Not really confusing, but you need to put something in where you understand where this trade's going. So this would be your trend now, right? Remember, you bought in here, you bought here, and this is your uptrend now. So you would ride this trade out all the way here, and then you would eventually get stopped out here, because you would say, hey, look, you know what? This thing, it, unless you took your money here and you were just lucky, or you saw this candle signal here and you said, you know what, that's enough. You saw this harami here, this harami here, maybe you said, what, that's just too much for me, I'm out. And so you lucked out and you sold here, good. If you didn't luck out and you sold, this is your line here. This is where your stop would be, anywhere. Your stop would always be going here. As this trade moves up, your stops are always here, under this line, all the way up, under this line. If this went all the way up, your stops would be moving up, but under the line, because you want that line to be maintained. Yeah, I saw that, the 184. I mean, it's gonna get up there. I mean, that's what they're paying for it. It'll probably just gap right up there. Probably wouldn't even have a chance to play it. You'll see. It's a lot of shit that goes on. When it slowly comes down, it's likely. Yes, yes. That's the way I play. If it goes, let me try to draw it. Right. If it goes up and then it slowly comes down, it's likely to go up again. Right? But you see this formation, right? This is a perfect. This is called a bullish flag. It's a pennant. So this is your chart. It goes up like that, right? And then it comes down inside until eventually it breaks out. And the same thing if it was a bearish, if it was pulling down, right? For some reason a chart was just yanking and then it popped off the short, it would do the same thing until it broke back further down. So it would just and this exactly the opposite. If something pops, it's gonna consolidate and then pop again. Now, if it went all the way up real quick and then went all the way back down, your only place of an entry you would be looking at for is a double bottom type play. Other than that, you don't care for this. You just might as well just leave it alone. So you see that, right? It goes up, hangs around, it's gonna break out. If it pulls down, hangs around, it's gonna pull more. If it pops hard and it pulls hard, the only play you're looking for is a double bottom play, not for a flag play, because something was wrong with this why it popped and dropped so fast. If it popped and stayed, if it hangs out, chills, take a breather. Remember the whole runner thing I was talking about, right? So the runner, he just like sprints and he takes a slow, a little while to recuperate and then he sprints again. So, but over here he sprints and he falls flat. So you don't really want to play with this. All right? No, it does, and you gotta really just think about it sometimes out of the box a little bit. Just put a lot of different type of analogies into your trades, and you'll see that it's a little simpler than you thought. And use simpler formations. Don't go crazy with too many stuff. I mean, a lot of people want to trick you with all these different names and all these different things. Don't get caught up into all of that. Just trade simple things. I mean, I was talking about formations last week, and it's just simple formations. Just keep it simple. Don't get crazy. This chart, you look at it for a second, you say, look, this is a channel here. You know? There, it's a perfect channel. What's gonna happen? This chart's supposed to come back down and retest this channel before it does anything else. But because of that news, it's gonna pop even more. Then what's gonna happen? It is gonna come back and retest it eventually. Could be at a higher point, but it will come back and retest it. Do you play the bounces afterwards on flags? Yes. Do I play bounces on pop and pulls? Yes. Only if it double bottoms. Only. I'm very specific with stuff. I mean, I'll play stuff where it goes straight up and then it comes down to like here, and my entry was down here, and I'd miss it. Sometimes I mean, you guys are in the room. I'd miss stuff by sometimes 3, 4, 5 pennies. The other day I missed a really cool play by 3 pennies. But I'm just really specific with stuff. If it goes up fast and it comes down fast, I don't want it unless it double bottoms. But if it goes up and then it chills for a little bit, then I do want it. But I have to look at it, and you don't know how far it's gonna come back down. Sometimes it can come back down. It can retrace 50%, 75%. But once I see it bounces a few times and it holds some sort of base, I'm in it. I just gotta flag it. It's gotta find some sort of trend, and if I miss this whole thing, it's okay, because you're gonna get a bigger play, most likely. I mean, if it's something that's sent it this fast up, there's something that's gonna make it go further. The way I see it sometimes is these are investors, these are day traders, these are rookies. I'm talking about going long. So investors, day traders, rookies, this happens here. Rookies get stopped out here. Investors are still in. Day traders are getting out. They're all playing around here. The investors are still in because they never sold anything. And then it's gonna go back up, and the day traders are gonna take it out. And then I feel like during this whole process right here, I feel like it's the investors that really want to put money in that's weeding out the newbies, weeding out the day traders. They're weeding people out. They're sifting them out, getting them out of the game, and then they're gonna take it up higher again. That's kind of how I see it. I mean, I don't know if it actually works that way, but that's kind of how I see it. It's more like I'm gonna buy here. I'm a big boy. I let the day traders, let the newbies, let everybody, figure out what they want to do here. And then when they're out of my stock, I want them out of my stock. Then I'm gonna push it higher. That's kind of how I see it. But I just think way out of the box for everything. So that's how I would see that. What point would you get out very tight stops if it doesn't go? On the flag, my stops are always on that bottom trend line. They're always on that trend. Even like if I took, say you took this trade here. This isn't a para or anything. Say you took this trade based off this trend line here, right? But bring it a little closer so we'll see. So you took this trade off of this break off the trend line here. You have a established trend line here. Your break is all the way here, but you already have a trend line that's been established here as a higher low, right? So you took the trade here, right there, and then as long as it holds this line, you're good. As long as it holds this line, you're good. I mean, obviously you'd be moving them up. Every time this stock pushes above a certain level, that's where your stops will be moving up. Every time it makes a peak as a resistance and then breaks above it, that's now your support. Always, obviously a couple pennies underneath it. So every time it peaks, like there, and then it comes back, your support. Every time it peaks, your support. Over here, if that peaked and then that was your support, you'd get stopped off on this one over here. But all throughout, if you were just moving your stops up accordingly, you'd never get stopped out until here. So you'd end up getting stopped out here realistically, if you took it here. You gotta walk your stops up, but you gotta know where you're walking it up to. You just can't say, okay, well, I'm taking this trade here, and I'm just gonna move, I'm gonna have 25-cent stop. Now, why do you have 25-cent stop? Is it realistic for this sort of trade? No. 25 cents on a $100 stock means nothing. So, Is it realistic? No. If you bought that stock right there, say you bought it right there, your only stop right now, the only thing that you know about this chart right now, not knowing all of this over here, the only thing that you know about this chart right now is that that's your bottom, and that's your stop, underneath it, obviously. Now in a chart like this, on the, being that the low was, what, 155.29, your stop is 155, because you have to give it room on a chart like this. So, if you took that trade there, the only thing you know for sure is that this is low of day. That's where your stops gotta be. For now, you can't play anything else with it. Um, like honestly, the para stuff. If you're not, para's like playing IPOs. If you're not fast, you're not quick. If you gotta jump into your thing and you gotta hit like, you got your pop-up window and you gotta type in, a 185, dollars, 0.33 cents, 1,000 shares. Then you gotta click buy. You already lost the whole move. So unless you don't have it set up where you have a quicker execution, playing paras is gonna cost you more money than make you money. Alright? So be careful with that. It's like playing IPOs right at the open. I mean, unless you have a way to have really, really quick triggers, really quick executions, ins and outs, you better just step back and wait for a flag, wait for a setup, wait for a channel, wait for something like that. Because you're actually going to be losing more money than you will be making. Because it goes up so much faster and comes back down so much faster than you can imagine. Within this move over here, say for some reason you bought all the way up here, 160, and you didn't have fast enough triggers to get off at 163 or whatever, then you're stuck at 149 from 160 in 1 minute. Like, how do you handle that? You can't. You can't handle that. You're talking about like a from 160 to 149, so you're looking at an $11 drop. What are you gonna do? You're gonna get stopped out. You're gonna lose money on this. This whole move happened, and this thing can go to $200, and you got stopped out because you picked it up at 160 thinking it was still gonna go higher. But that's why you gotta have quick fingers. If you got in at 160 on something like this, you better be willing to just click in and click out, or sit back and watch it and wait for a flag. Wait for a breakout, wait for a channel, wait for a retracement, wait for something else. Because if you're trying to play this and you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna lose $2,000-3,000 in one pull, and you won't understand how. And you'll be sitting there going, holy shit, this thing went to $200, but I'm the only guy in the world that managed to lose $1,500 on it. Yeah, yeah. If you really, unless you're really quick with your triggers, unless you're really sure about your L2, unless there's a $50 stock with like a $90 buyout, and you happen to catch it at $56, then ride it up a little bit. But other than that, just in and out, or watch it and wait for a breakout, wait for a flag, wait for a candle, wait for a setup, wait for something. If I was playing this and I was sitting here watching the CI as it happened, and I played it here, so I didn't really care for anything else. Um, if I was sitting here watching this thing, this right here would be my signal to go long, because it popped here and it opened above here. Once you get the pull, I would go long. So that would be my signal for entry for long there if I was doing this based on candles alone. Then when this happened over here and you got that nasty signal right there, I'd be out. So That's how I would play it if I was just day trading this by myself. But I made my money here. I got in as soon as it reopened. I was like, boom, and I got out. I think I made like 4 or 5 points. I can't remember, but I did make some nice one on that. Yeah, I do that too when I'm playing the flags. So like I'll look at this. I'll look at this one. If I was playing the flag and do limit orders, yeah. If I'm playing for a flag for a setup play, you better believe it. My orders are to the penny. I mean, I'll miss stuff very on very tight orders, and sometimes I'll nail stuff within 2 or 3 pennies too. So I'll miss some, but I'm pretty sure that I've nailed more than 70% of the ones that I really wanted to nail. I do limit orders a lot, and I'm patient. People will come in here on a play like this, and they would be very impatient. Okay, they would be very impatient about, I want to go long, I want to go long. This thing's gonna break here. Right, they're thinking this thing's gonna break 163. For sure it's gonna break 163. That's what they're thinking in their head, right? So this happened, they missed this, they missed this, they missed this. Now they still wanna go long. But they're thinking, I'm just gonna get it, I'm just gonna get it, I'm just gonna get it. And so they get it, and it does all of this. Now this may seem like a little bit. This is almost 10 points right here. It's almost 10 points right here. Can you handle 10 points? Can you take 100 shares and lose $1,000? Can you take 1,000 shares and lose 10 points? I mean, you gotta be realistic. This is not gonna work. This is gonna stop everybody out. I don't care who you are. You're not gonna see 10 points go under and still be chilling with it. So you would have gotten stopped out on something like this. So you just gotta wait for a formation. So you let this do what the hell it wants to do. If it was coming down to here, if it was not coming down, whatever. You let it do what it wants to do. And then, once you see that bottom there, and a couple candles, so you miss all of this. You miss one candle, you miss 2 candles. But now you have a bottom here, and you have an area here. So you just kind of go, well, this is what I'm going to do. And you play something like this. So, whenever it comes back down close to this area here, you're going to be buying, and then you're going to set your risk here. Now this is a risk. This is part of trading. You're going to be testing the line that you just drew, saying that, hey, this is the line that I want to work with. So this is not in a book, this is not in a manual anywhere. You're just making this up as you go along on this trade. So you're going to put this as your trend line. You're going to try to buy something above the trend line, as close to the trend line as possible, and then you're going to set your risk under the trend line. And that's all you can do on this trade. You can buy it above, set your risk under, and hope that it does this, right? And if you did get in anywhere around here, 153 even, I mean, you still came out with 6-7 points. That second green opened above the price. Yes, this one over here. It did. If you were doing just candlesticks, I would do here. If I was doing just candlesticks, I would do here. See, I compile a lot of different strategies. I got my L2 that I'm looking at for bid support. If this came down here on this big red candle, right here on this candle, my L2 would have popped up. It would have said, hey, I want to buy it. I want to buy. So even before this trend line was even drew over here, this L2 on my L2 would have said, I want to buy this. And so I would have probably gotten in over here if I was playing this just for this. I remember what I always tell you guys. Always tell you guys. Sell into big green candles and you buy into the big red candles. That's for the long plays. It's for the long plays. So if you're short on a play, it's the exact opposite. But for a long play, you sell into big green candles and you buy into big red candles. Sell into big green candles, sell into big green candles. See how it works? So you just keep selling into the big green candles. That's where the smart guys are. Sell into big green candles. Just keep selling into the big green candles. No matter where you look at it, you sell into the bigger green candles. You buy into the red candles. You buy into the red candles. Selling into the big green candles. I mean, it's just all over. Because that's the smart money. You're selling into the big green candles. You see it right here? See them? See the red ones? The red ones? The red ones? They're right there. Right in front of you. Right in front of you. Just the charts alone are gonna tell you exactly what you want to know. It's a lot simpler than you think. A lot of people just put too much. They put too much BS into all of this. They try to put too much. I don't know, too much strategies or too much names or too much things. They try to just make it too complicated. I mean, my lines may look complicated, but they're not. They're just simple. They're simple. Hey, this is where I want it to be, and this is where I think it's gonna go, and that's what my lines tell me. That's all. It takes the guesswork out of it. That's all it does. That's where that chart's gonna go to, by the way. Right there. You'll see it on Monday. That's where that chart's gonna go to. Because after I made this whole big thing, it showed you where it wanted to go. Let me know on Monday. You take a picture of that one. That's where it wants to go. Okay. Anything else, guys? Can't believe it's like a freaking hour and a half already. It's crazy. We didn't really go over much plays. I got a couple of you guys with questions from your plays during the week. Anything else though? Did I miss anything? Let me scan through this. I don't think I missed anything. Oh, I did miss one. Okay. KN. KN. Okay. Beaten down chart. Gotta break that 50. First, before it breaks that 50, it's gotta break that downtrend line. See the line? Gotta break that line. Then it's gonna sit on it. Then it's gotta come over to, sorry, it's a 200. It's gotta test that monster 200 right there. Then it's gonna do any kind of reversal. But this bottom end over here on the daily on this chart is beautiful. That right there, boom, came back, boom, came back, boom. It's actually a really nice chart. If it came back down here to this 18 level, I mean, I don't know if it will, but if it comes back down here, you're only risking down here. So this is actually a really nice chart for a setup for a reversal type swing deal. If you wanted to play something for a swing, you bought down here closer to this bottom line, you're risking only the break of this line here. So you're not really risking much if you wanted to swing this for probably something closer to, if you got it at 18, just say you lucked out and you got it at 18 something, you're trying to get it up to 21, and then you're going to tighten up your stops because it's going to come back down, retest this line here. If it wants to break this 200, then it's going to go through. It's not going to just go straight through unless they get some kind of news or buyout or something. It's going to go up, test it, come back down, then make another move. But that's a nice one for a swing. I like it. There was another one somebody was asking. Airy. Do Airy call on Friday to pop short? too long at support. Area, what was the call? This was the call in the room to pop this top here. Jeff? Sorry. If you're still here, Jeff. If a chart gaps up and it pops at open, if it's already up, right? Remember the whole runner thing. I gotta keep telling you guys this because it's one day you'll get it. If the runner sprints up here, and I'm talking about this in relation to the close, alright? The runner sprints up here and he doesn't take a breath, he's not gonna be able to run again. If a runner sprints and he tries to sprint again without taking a breather, he's gonna fail. So if he sprints and he takes a breath, he's gonna go up. If he sprints and he tries to sprint again, he's gonna fail. Alright? So that's the gap up. That's the whole theory. So I'm sure that the call was if it pops it open to short that. That's what you did, right? I mean, if it popped obviously to this high would have been awesome, but you didn't get that. But if it did pop here, I mean, we're looking at the high was 20, say it was 2290. I don't know exactly. Say it was 2290. And then it did end up popping to 22 anything actually. I would, as soon as I see this pop here, I didn't play this. As soon as I see this pop here, this first candle, I'd be buying some with room to add. Because I'd be risking anything break off this, which wouldn't give me it wouldn't give me a lot to risk. Because you'd buy some here. Say you wanted 2,000 shares. You'd buy 500 here, and then you'd have a bulk of your order here for like 50% of your order all the way up here, just in case it went up there. And then you'd buy a little bit more around this area here, but you wouldn't buy your full 2,000 here because you still didn't know. This is still your risk here. So you'd end up only having 1,000 shares because you didn't get your full size, but you'd still have some fun with it. But you wouldn't be risking your whole bank account here buying 2,000 shares in this zone when you know that this could be your risk. So you got your 2,000 shares here, even if you scaled in 4 times, right? So you got your 2,000 shares over here, and it popped over here. Now you got 2,000 shares and you're risking 75 cents. That's a lot of money. So you would only risk your 50% here, and your other 50% would be up here. And you'd lose out on obviously all of this with 50% of your money. I understand that. But you'd rather lose out 50%, you'd rather lose out 50% of your entire share size than have to get 2,000 shares here and have it actually pop through here. You understand what I'm saying? So you'd rather take a smaller starter size here, be disciplined about what you want to get. If you wanted the 2,000, you'd buy about 1,000 around this area, and your other full size would only be up here. Only. Because this is your ultimate level here. Until this thing, even though it never got close, even though it did not get close to this area, this is still your risk. That's still your risk. From this to this is still your risk. So you gotta figure out a way to not buy your full size here. Because if you bought your full size here and you're still risking up there, you're risking 75 cents on 2,000 shares, and you're gonna be crying if it actually does go up here. So that's the way that I would play something like this. This is always gonna be your ultimate risk. That's gonna be your holy shit stop right there. Obviously a little bit above it, somewhere here. But if you took some here, you wanna add, it would be somewhere around here, closer to here, with stops at here. Alright? If you missed it, if you missed the shorted open, what would be a good second entry for short? Once you saw that this whole area over here was doing what it's doing, a perfect entry for a short based on candles. There's one here, a harami, and then the gap down. I would probably be short here. Then it'll pop on me, but my risk, forget this now, because that's out of the play. Only this orange box is in the play now. So I would be short here at 22.10, 22, whatever. I'd be short here. Say I got it at 22. I'd be risking now this peak over here. That point right there. And that point was actually right at my 50. So that would be my risk right there. It wouldn't be much risk. I'd be at 22 and my risk would be 50 cents. I wouldn't be full size either. So even if I had gotten here and it had popped, I would have bought more here. Now remember I tell you, if that's my risk there, just like I was telling you here, if this is my risk here, that's where my full size order is. So I would have gotten in at 22. I would have probably gotten more at 22.25. I'd be risking up to 22.50 area. So I would have gotten nice size if I was doing this entire play right here, because this actually popped pretty close up to the top here where I would have gotten most of my fill. I wouldn't have gotten all of it, but I would have gotten most of my fill around this area here. If I'd bought a 22, I would have filled more here. So I would be actually like probably 3/4 size if I was playing this. And then once I got more candle confirmation, like right here, I would have probably just bought more. So if I was just playing this based on candles alone, that's the way I would play it. That would be if I missed this whole little thing here and I wanted to play this still, this is how I'd play it based on candles. I would be short here, it would pop, I would add more, and then once this happened here, I would definitely be short. I'd be scared here, but I wouldn't be too worried, because if you're not, I'm sure you didn't even notice this, but that's the trend line there, right? That's the trend line, and that candle broke the trend line. This candle retested the bottom of a trend line, confirming my short position. If I wanted to add on, if I didn't get any ads here, I had one buy in, and if I wanted to add any on this confirmation that it stood under my trend line, this is where I would add more short. This on the big red candle is where I would cover, and my stop would come back to be at the entry. It would never get stopped out, and then I just ride it. I just keep riding it. Would I get all of this? I'm sure I wouldn't have. I'm sure I would not have. But I would have gotten a good decent amount. I would probably I'd be selling and I'd be covering into the big red candles. You know that. Be covering into the big red candles, and I'd probably cover most money right here. Honestly, why would I cover most money right here is because of this 200. I'd cover most of my money here. I'd lose out a lot more. That's fine. If I was playing area alone, I'd come back short again over here as soon as it tested the 200 again, and then come back again. So I'd short, I'd cover, I'd re-short here if this was my only chart for the day. Yeah, I like to have defined risk. If I don't have a risk, then I don't want to play the chart. So like over here, as I showed you, entry, risk. Over here, entry, risk. I gotta have a risk, cause you know what? Stuff could go crazy, and you can't say, okay, well my risk is 50 cents, or my risk is a quarter, or sometimes if I take a call and I tell you I'm only risking 15 cents, the only reason why I'm telling you I'm only risking 15 cents is because I'm buying at the absolute bottom, and if it doesn't hold there, I don't want it. And I keep telling you guys that too in chat. If it breaks here, I don't want it. If it breaks here, I don't want it, because that's how I play. If my stops are that tight, it's because it's the absolute lowest that it can go, and if it goes 15 cents under that, I don't want it. That's the only how I can tell you that okay, I'll do a quarter stop or I'll do 50-cent stop because I already calculated into it. If I tell you I'm doing a quarter stop is because the risk that I really want to take is about 20 cents and I'm doing a 5 cents wiggle. If I tell you I'm doing a 50-cent stop is because the risk I really want to take is 40 cents and I'm doing a 10 cents wiggle. So on something like this, if you bought here, your risk is at this line, and then I would probably have a 5 or 10 cents wiggle above that line just to secure my play just in case it pops. No, yeah, you gotta be disciplined. If you're not disciplined to cut your losses, you're gonna end up say you were long. Just say for some reason you figured, hey, look at this trend. I love it. I love it. And you said, okay, this is going up for sure. Forget all this crap, right? Because you're looking at this thing and you're thinking in your head, wow, okay, look, it's breaking the downtrend line. And realistically, it's kind of crazy, right? It looks like a perfect flag. So it's breaking the trend line, so I'm going long. So say you went long somewhere here. Just say you went long and you did not have a risk. And 2 candles afterwards, this happens to you. Then you'd be crying also. So even if you went long here, just saying, even if you made a mistake, even if you played this wrong, or even if you thought this was doing a completely different thing than it did, even if you went long at 22.15, your risk was anywhere around 22 because of this line, because of that trend line. Your risk was right here at 22 if you went long at 22.15. So you only were risking 15 cents even if you went long. Even if you think this was going to break out and this was going to go to the upside, you would still only be risking 15 cents. Forget all of this here because you'd never be caught up in it. You'd say, wow, thank God I had a stop. I only lost 15 cents. So, long, short, however you want to play it, always have some kind of risk in your head or a reason for having a risk. Because if you don't have a risk, you're now putting your entire account in jeopardy. So be careful. Always have a risk. If you don't know how to use stops, ask me how to use stops. We'll go over that. If you're not sure where to put your stops, ask me. If you want to help me, you want me to help you draw a trend line, I'll go through with you. But you gotta know where your stuff is at because you're playing with real money. All right. So I think that's it. I don't think I'm gonna post this up. You guys think I should post it up for the other people? Was there anything here that's interesting enough that other people's gonna want to know? Should I upload it? Let me know. Cause this one's like a good hour and something. This little 20 minutes thing turns out to be an hour and a half easy. You guys let me know if you want me to post it up. Other than that, I think we're good. I'm tired. I gotta work tomorrow too. Yeah, it's Father's Day. I know. Alright, so I'm out. Hope it was helpful to somebody. Nobody's here. I should. Right, you can't be adding. Just me and you, Alex. No worries. I hope it helped. Yeah, it was a pretty fast hour and a half, but good. So then I'm gonna put it up then. I'll put it up if somebody can, get something useful out of it, then my time was well spent. But I'm happy you guys showed up. And we can do this whenever, guys. I'm up for talking charts anytime. Just let me know if anybody needs any help with anything. We could go over some stuff anytime. Have a good night. I will see you guys. Well, I won't be in chat, but we can talk. Twitter, email, whatever. Alright, so that's it. Have a good night. Take care, all.